how do I know that we all have the same version of sensory equipment? How do I know that your hearing is like my hearing, your eyesight is like my eyesight, and so on and so forth?
Phil Phails at Philosophy.
And if someone has V0 hearing and you folks that are blind have amazing hearing and or smell, or folks that can't hear have amazing, there's these other. What if there was someone out there that just had the extremes on all of the level of sensory input? Wouldn't their level of consciousness be different because the way they're interacting with data and the fidelity of the data they're receiving is so much different?
Yeah, I mean that's part of. I think that's a good thing to contemplate, right? Because the classic example that they refer to here, I know Chalmers refers to, goes to this essay from the 70s by a philosopher, Thomas Nagel, called, I think, What Is It Like to Be a Bat? Where he puts forth this notion of consciousness as the state of being like something, right? Like what is like to be conscious. To be conscious as Philip is to be what it is like to be Philip, right? Right, and so you kind of inhabit this space of being that thing and operating in the world as that thing. When we think about how a bat experiences the world, right, through sonar,
Right.
we can't access that.
We don't have that equipment.
Right.
We've got no understanding of that. We can look in we could go in a submarine, right? And we could look at a screen that has sonar.
Right. We can create visual analogies.
We can't make that internal.
We can try to even think about what it would be like to close our, but we don't have sonar, right? We don't have this.
We don't have it.
Right. So we just don't have that experience. We don't have that experience that a snake has where its primary sensory input is taste.
Taste.
Right. And so those, I think, present challenges to a notion that there's some sort of monolithic experience of consciousness that we can access easily. And I think those more extreme examples of distance in experience then come back to sort of these puzzles between human beings. Like, what is it the same kind of, is being Philip the same as being Grant, right?
Yeah.
On this basic level. I think probably. Right, I think you probably have a state of consciousness. It seems the most reasonable explanation, right? It seems most reasonable that the universe will go on after you die.
And yet you're saying that to yourself now.
Right, I'm saying that to me. I'm saying that to you.
But I'm not here. I mean, I'm here, but
you are here. It's most reasonable for me to believe that you're here.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I know I'm here.
Right, and
vice versa.
So we can come up with these kinds of interesting conceptual schemes that help us think through problems. But that doesn't mean they're the most reasonable explanation for what's going on. They're not the best explanation for what's going on. And I think keeping that distinction is important, right? Like these kind of thought experiments that we can develop that show us the extremes of the problem we're wrestling with don't necessarily provide an argument that that's the best way to describe things. They at best present an argument that this is a possibility that's real as a possibility, and what you know is not absolute.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean what you know isn't more reasonably the thing. Like it's much more reasonable to believe, given an experience of the world where I see people die, people who seem to have awareness like I have awareness, and when they die, the universe goes on because I am here and keeping going on.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. That when I die, that's probably going to be what's going to happen. Do I know that 100% with absolute certainty?
No.
No. No.